Day 26 experience rock, and my company is Ground Your Divinity, and the idea is to basically open to the divine spirit within, but then ground it into reality and be able to live from that place in a practical way, not kind of off in meditation woo-woo land, so to speak. Hey, welcome. Glad to have you along. Hey, what's up, Dave? So welcome back, guys. Right on. Thanks, brother. Yeah, it's been a full day for sure. So thanks, man. Thank you. So what's up in y'all's world? Right on. Right on. Actually, you said that the other day. Honestly, Dave, it's actually where I tend to do most of my broadcasts from. One day I was in my bedroom because my mom was hanging out in town. But most of the time actually tends to be in this space. Um, Best music for meditation. That's a good question. Whatever floats for you. A few ideas is doing things that are, no vocals or very light vocals. Our mind tends to grab onto things. Oh yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, you're right. I kind of move where the thing is a little bit each day. I like to mix things up in my world. You know what I mean? A little bit this way. One day we're 2 inches that way. Just fucking around. Um, so best meditation music. When we tend to hear words, a lot of times that starts our cognitive brain and starts our thinking and chunking. So I would recommend something with little or no vocals. Um, Also something with a nice chill, soothing vibe. Um, there is certainly benefit to be had for tribal drum dance music type stuff. But that's more of if you're doing like a moving meditation, or there's definitely something to be said for like tribal dance or whatever. Uh, it's a good question, man. It's growing though. Periscope is growing for sure. Um, so I will just keep sending out the good, loving vibes, and we will attract quality scopers. So yeah, and also on the music thing, I would recommend personally. My preference is just to not have any music, but if it helps you to focus, yeah, light, chill, flowing music with little or no vocals is my recommendation. So what am I experiencing today? So yeah, yesterday, if you guys watched the scope at all, could have been, I guess, kind of considered a little bit of a downer. I had a lot of sadness surface, and was just allowing myself to be in that space. And there's a time in my life when, yeah, it is what it is. The human, no matter what we create, there will be people that use it for things that are considered more pure, and those that are considered using it for things that are less pure. And that's why I really feel that all stuff comes down. Yeah, we all just need to get a little release, right? But no, I truly feel like it all comes down to changing our human spirit as we connect inside and with the true essence of who we really are, and realize that true happiness, true love, true joy, true everything else comes from our deep connection with our inner being. Then we don't need as much of this external stuff, and also we begin to tap into more of a purity of life, I guess, and there isn't as much need to. Thank y'all, I appreciate the hearts. There isn't as much need to sully things. And like for example, I mean, sex is beautiful. Sex is wonderful. When we can connect with somebody on a very deep level, with mind, body, spirit, all of the above, and have a real true communion, physically, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, and the whole bit, it can be a very beautiful experience. We do have an animalistic nature. I mean, we're mind, body, spirit. We are animal. We are also part of heaven, all the above. And when we limit everything to just our base chakra and operate from our pure carnal animalistic desires and cut off the other stuff, you get things like rampant unconscious porn. And I mean, I'm not going to say I haven't been through my porn phases for sure over my past 36 years, but over time, as I've woken up, I've just realized it's base. And I don't mean that, I guess, in a negative way, but it's just a very lower chakra without this other opening stuff up, and it degrades the pure beauty of, or it gives a false impression, representation of the pure beauty of sexuality. So as we all begin to awaken and open up the higher aspects of being and maintain, but also step beyond or open up from our animalistic nature, I feel like we will all shift. So, but it all starts within, and all starts with each one of us changing ourselves one at a time. So, so what I'm seeing, like I said, today or yesterday was a little bit of like a sadness scope. I had some of that coming up, and I just allowed myself to be in the space. And today, prior to the meditation, I had some stuff come up with a friend that brought up some anger. And I kind of was raised originally as, and I think to a certain extent we all were, that it's not necessarily okay to express emotions. It wasn't ever like, in some people I'm sure it was conscious, said, don't talk back, or don't do this, or don't cry, or don't get mad, or don't yell. Some people it wasn't necessarily explicit. It was just like for example, my mom. I love my mom. My mom is amazing. My mom is wonderful. But if I would ever, oftentimes, if I would come in a place of sadness or just having a day where I just was feeling like, and I just want to be in my, doldrum state. I was like, what's wrong? What's going on? Is there any... Fair enough. You mean the porn thing or the emotion thing? Or both. I don't know. Fair enough. Yeah, and I do agree with you. Actually, women are allowed to express, or it's more generally accepted for women to express their emotions more than guys are. I will definitely agree with you there. So, yeah, like I said, it was kind of this like, what's wrong? What's, going on? Right on, man. It was this, there was a subconscious, like, it's not okay to just feel sadness right now and just be okay with that. Why do I have to be happy? Why does anything have to be wrong or bad? Why can't I just allow myself to be where I am? And same thing, if we have anger, there's this desire to express it in the moment. And just, if we feel like yelling or getting mad, we feel like something has brought up anger in us and we want to yell, then somebody gets pissed off because we're yelling. And I'll talk about the idea of releasing emotions here in a minute. Some insights have kind of come to me. But just this idea that, we were kind of raised this way, and that caused us to suppress things or think in ourselves, especially, like I said, or like you brought up, guys primarily, that it was not okay to express these things, so we just kind of push it away and bottle it up. And in truth, emotions are not us. What I'm really beginning to see with thoughts, and in fact, a common thing at the beginning of meditation people experience is like, oh, well, how do I get rid of my thoughts? What do I do about thinking too much and all of the above? I would say there isn't anything you need to do. First off, there's anything wrong with thoughts. This misconception about like meditation being about blocking out or pushing away thoughts, I feel is actually unserving. Meditation is about allowing all to be as it is. Whatever the experience we're having is okay. And allow ourselves to just be as we are. And if that involves thoughts, that involves thoughts. Now, it's true that over time, thoughts do begin to subside. And there is a deeper level of presence that opens, but there isn't any need to force it. Allow it to unfold. And what I've begun to see, and I've gone through my own things, especially with this 2 hours a day deal of meditation, is my own thoughts going back and forth and my own tendencies to want to push them, pull them, move them, do them, accept them, not accept them, all that kind of stuff. And then this like, what do I do? What do I do? Has come up in me as well. And what I've really begun to notice is the more I just sit, regardless of whatever mental stuff is going on, as I just sit here, a spaciousness begins to open, a presence, like I said, spaciousness is the best word I got right now, that begins to open, and it opens around my thoughts, it opens around my being. And then after a little while, as I just sit here, I begin to recognize more and more that my thoughts are just floating on the surface, and there isn't any need to do anything with them. And honestly, the less I do, the easier it is for them just to release and do their thing. But at first, when we tend to be running around or frantic, yes ma'am, absolutely. I do feel, actually, hang on one second, let me finish this thought, but I'll come back to the prayer meditation thing. So when we're beginning and we're running around frantic or whatever, it's very easy for our focus to be very narrow-minded, and all we see is the thoughts, or all we see is the emotions, or whatever. And this idea of sitting and just being is what allows our awareness to just gently expand to where now the thoughts are just this little piece in this vast ocean of our experience right now. And then it just, like I said, once we begin to awaken to that, the thoughts just kind of release. And I believe that emotions are the same way, but I'm going to come back to that in a second. As far as the prayer meditation thing, yes, I do believe prayer is a definite form of meditation. Again, meditation is really just allowing ourselves to be, first off, it defies words. When you try to encapsulate meditation with words, you begin to cut out bits. Words are very limiting. But that being said, yeah, anything to put words, if we can, to it, that allows us the space of presence to be, to communicate with something higher than ourselves, to open up to a true nature, to play in our inner world, etc., is an idea of meditation, and prayer certainly fits into that. Yeah, that's fine. The difference, well, all right, one thought on the prayer thing, and then I'll get to that too. So just personal experience through prayer and things like that is, I would, and just what my intuition says, many prayers tend to be asking God for things. God, please give me this. God, please give me that. God, please, bless this person. And all those things are wonderful, and that's beautiful. If anything, though, is a prayer, I would either say just a dialogue with God, with Spirit, whatever your religious beliefs lead you towards. That is, rather than a supplicative, like, give me this, grant me this, just a true, honest, open dialogue like you would with a friend. And speak as well as listen, or just a true silent listening prayer. Prayer doesn't always have to be us going out. It can be just simply allowing ourselves to rest in the presence and listen to whatever Spirit is attempting to communicate to us in the moment. And so I would actually offer, if you haven't already, to play with the idea of silent prayer as a form of meditation, and just being in this space of listening and seeing what unveils itself. On the thinking, thinking what we're thinking about is perfectly fine. The difference, not difference, I guess it's the best word I got right now, is when we, thanks man, I appreciate that, is if we follow the thoughts or not. There's something I've noticed in my own experience between like allowing thoughts to come in and roll on their own and have their time to play, From that, a lot of deep insights can come, deep awarenesses, and creativity, and all kinds of stuff. If we have thoughts and we grab them and run with them, for example, we're just chilling being, and then this like, I got to go to the grocery store tomorrow comes up. And then we grab it and we're like, oh yeah, I do have to go to the grocery store. And I got to get eggs and bread and milk and this and that. And oh shit, I got this thing to do. I can't go in the morning. I got to go in the afternoon. Then we're gone. We've lost ourselves in the thought itself. And we've remember, the idea is we're not thoughts. We are not emotions. We are the complete observer of our experience back here. When we give credibility and grab these thoughts and run with them, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing bad about it. It's just that we lose our sense of self, and we think that we are somehow this thought, and we attach ourselves there. And it's a very subconscious thing, but we can awaken to noticing that process in ourselves. And so over time, as this observer consciousness and this spaciousness that I mentioned begins to open, it's easier to just don't know if you're here. All right, so somebody joined. Yeah, let me know if you guys my power has gone out. I don't know if you can hear me or not, or if everybody's gone, but I think my Wi-Fi died and my power is out. So is anybody there? Yeah. All right, there's one chat. All right, I'll say that again. My power is out. There's a storm going on over here, and things have gone kind of funky. And my Wi-Fi got disconnected. So, wow, this is kind of an off-on, very fun experience. Very unique. All right, you can hear me. Awesome. Anybody else around? All right, so you know what? I'm just going to continue with it. I'm going to pray that Scope is still doing its thing, although I do know that without Wi-Fi, sometimes my connection can be funky, so I will probably just finish up these trains of thought and then pray that it's still recording and finish up for the night. Cool. Glad you're still around. Yeah, all my power's out, so woo. Whoa! We're just going to pretend there's a little ghost going on. All right, so maybe if I'm a little bit closer, the light of the phone, can you kind of see me? That's a little freaky looking. Okay, so anyway, basically, we'll get really close to the Buddhist culture. Yeah, so I've read some stuff. Yeah, all my lights went out. So hopefully you can see me by the light of the phone here, and the chat boxes that come in with the little white kind of, and then as they fade, it's funny, the screen goes dark again. So anyway, yeah, Buddhist culture. I know. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know a little bit about, and just enough to kind of begin to see. That was in my like waking up to all is one phase. And so, like I said, I've read or listened to a little bit of Tibetan book and Living and Dying. I'm aware of the principles. I believe them in the sense that I believe in all things, as that it's all a part of the totality, but particularly follow it like saying that I am Buddhist, not particularly. So then the other trains of thought, I guess, were, so yeah, there's something about meditating in groups. So there's also something about meditating individually that I feel is very good for our growth personally, and allows us to really be saturated in our own energy field, which is very good for us. So I hope that helps there. And then the other question, I don't know if the lady that asked this is still on or not, but she asked about the why of meditation. The why is everything, every reason under the sun, every reason known to man. It taps us into our deep inner being, to the oneness, the cosmic presence that is all that is, to our true nature. It helps us to bring the light of our true nature into the darkness. Light in the darkness would be really helpful now. I'm sure my soul is shining, but the filaments in the bulbs have lost their right on, man. Thank you. Form of praying. Yes, I definitely. As the chats come in, you can kind of see a little bit of the light from the phone, and you can see me a little bit. But yes, meditation and prayer definitely go hand in hand. In fact, actually, a little bit earlier in this broadcast, I mentioned something about that. So if you get a chance, you may want to go back and check it out. But yes, meditation and prayer, in one sense, are two words for the same thing. But yeah, meditation, rather than why, it's like, why not? Man, it helps create this spaciousness. Yes, pretty heavily raining, lightning. I think I heard some thunder a little bit earlier, for sure. Yep, there we go. There's some thunder. Wow, I completely lost my... Oh, yeah, meditation, yeah. Spaciousness, the ability to respond rather than react to the situations around us. As we open up to... my power's out. As I open up to... or as we open up to that spaciousness inside, we can see that we're not our thoughts, we're not our emotions. That's a damn good idea. I just was stuck in the scope broadcast and did not even think about the whole flashlight idea. Excellent call. I will be right back. Not perfect, but not bad. All right, so that's a little weird. Okay, let's see. How can I make this so that it doesn't look like I'm just like, oh. All right, let's see. What can we do here? Maybe shine it like this. There's no good way to do this. It just looks odd every way. All right, so we're just going to screw it. It's the best I got. I'm going to finish up pretty soon anyway. But anyway, so yeah, meditation is wonderful and amazing for so many different reasons. That's kind of weird. And as we begin to recognize that we are not our thoughts, we are not our emotions, we can transcend them, we can shift them, we can raise our vibrational level to one of love and peace and enlightenment and transcend. And again, we talked about earlier about emotions. There's nothing wrong with anger or sadness. Yeah, it really is. There was a guy with a hook, and you pretend that you're camping right now by a bonfire, and the hook man is coming to get you. We can. There's nothing wrong with the negative emotions per se, and if you have them, allow yourself to express them. I also recommend, by the way, as you're expressing your emotions, especially the negative ones, be conscious of the level of consciousness of the people around you. If they are of a lower consciousness and can't handle being in the negative emotion space without losing it themselves, you may want to go back in your own space to express yourself. If you're around people that are conscious and they realize themselves that they are not their emotions, and you can freely express and they can freely express, and you maintain your sense of presence, then it can be very healthy. Otherwise, a habit that I like to do sometimes is go in my own space, ask the universe to just create a protective bubble around me, that anything I express, there was some kind of weather alert earlier, or some kind of alert. So ask that everything I express be cleansed and be purified and returned to the pure energy of being, or some form of that kind of thing, that it not hurt anybody. And then I also will call a person's name if I'm having a particular issue with them. Call their name 3 times, kind of imagine their spirit coming in front of me, and then I will just friggin' let it out and say whatever I gotta say, get mad, get sad, get whatever, and just let my emotions surface and release. And then, at the end, just thank this person's spirit for being in here, for listening, I find it very helpful to kind of open my own spirit and just say, is there anything that you would like to communicate, and just kind of allow